Hey everyone, John with A&J Outdoors, and today you're going to join me as I try my hand at curing bacon. I didn't wake up this morning and all of a sudden, wow, I know how to cure bacon. So I did a lot of research. I've been researching this for a little bit. Of course, one of the main places I researched was YouTube. Looked at other YouTubers, how they did it. There's a lot of different ways to cure bacon out there. There's some common themes, certain things that you got to do for it to be cured bacon, right? But beyond that, you can kind of use your imagination. So what I did is I found two that I liked. They weren't the same, of course, and I modified them to create my own recipe. Okay, so first thing we got is pork belly. All right, picked it up here in Texas. I got it at HEB. All right, almost 20 pounds, I think, or I'm sorry, 5 pounds. Right, $20. They're not cheap. So about 5 pounds. So this recipe is for 5 pounds. I saw recipes for 5 pounds, 3 pounds, and again, so I adjusted. So we got the bacon, we rinsed it off, or the pork belly. That's all it is right now, is pork belly. We rinsed it off real good, dried it off real good. So my basic recipe, we've got a cup of brown sugar, cup. Did we use a cup? Yeah, cup of brown sugar. Cup of kosher salt. Teaspoon and a half of cayenne pepper. So you gotta have a little heat once you see all this other stuff we're gonna add. Tablespoon and a half of honey. Okay, there's some of the sweet. Tablespoon and a half, make sure I'm giving you guys this right, of Jack Daniel's honey. So that's a little unique, right? Teaspoon and a half of the pink salt. That's your when you're curing, that's pretty important to have, right, the curing salt, right? Pink salt is a curing salt. Teaspoon and a half of freshly ground black pepper. Okay, that's it. So there's dry rubs. There people will do it with a liquid one, right? More like a brining process. So this one is dry, even though I got the honey and the Jack Daniels is such a low amount, it's still going to be dry. It's going to almost be like a paste. So first thing we do is dump this brown sugar in our bowl. Got the salt, yeah. Let's get the brown sugar. Let's get the honey. All right. And the Jack Daniels honey. Okay, Tennessee honey. I'm going to try to use the whisk to mix that together. Set that over here for now. Okay. So we got those. Now we're going to put our salts and our pepper in the same bowl. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get some gloves on. And we're going to rub this magic lovingness all over this piece of meat. All right, boom, we got gloves. See how quick that was? We're going to take this stuff, we're just going to rub it in. We ain't faking, we making bacon. All right, so there you go. I've got it rubbed. Okay, next step, I'm going to get a large Ziploc. If you can find a 2-gallon, you might be able to fit this in a 1-gallon, but it would be better to put it in a 2-gallon Ziploc. Okay, because here's the process. It's going to go in that Ziploc. It's going to go lay flat in the refrigerator, and then every day for 7 days, I'm going to go in, massage it a little bit, and flip it over. So the salts and the curing and all that keep working into the meat. So for 7 days, flip it. Next day, flip it. Next day. So I'm not going to record all that. You understand what I'm saying, right? After that, we'll pull it out and we'll start the process of preparing it to smoke, okay? So that's what's next. So let's get ready to go pull this guy out of the fridge. Magically, it'll be 7 days from now, and we'll put it in the smoker. Just like that, it's been 7 days, folks. That was quickest 7 days ever, right? Actually, it's been 8. We went to day 8. We had some things going on yesterday, so I didn't get the opportunity to pull it. No big deal, doesn't hurt none. So what you pull it out, right? First of all, let's go back to the Ziploc bag. I had stated that you could get away with using a gallon bag. One this size doesn't fit in a gallon bag, right? It was fortunate we had 2 gallon bags, so you're gonna have to find yourself some 2 gallon grocery bags, or if you get a big, they make marinade containers that, you know, they lock together top and bottom and you can just flip the whole container. If you get something like that, you can probably use that too. But we just used a giant Ziploc bag. So we pulled it out, rinse it off real well. Don't be afraid like you're gonna rinse off all the flavor, you're not. And you need to get your hands on there and kind of rub it real good as you're rinsing it to get that excess salt and all that off of there, because you don't need that. It's gonna be salty plenty enough without all that extra stuff on it. So you end up with a nice, thick, and pretty firm piece of meat. That's one of the things that I read, that if you're doing this and your meat has soft spots after 7 days, you know, it's not universally firm, then maybe you put it in for another day or two. So I didn't have to do that, right? It's nice and firm, so we rinse it real good in the sink, and then you dry it off real good. Now, like I said at the beginning, I've watched a few different people do this to get the idea how I'm gonna do it. And one, pat it dry with paper towels and boom to the smoker. The other, pat it dry with paper towels or whatever you want to use, dry it good, but then put it on the hook, hang it from a cabinet handle in the kitchen over something it can drip onto, and let it sit there for a good hour or so and actually dry, which I think is a good idea. We're taking this out of the refrigerator. We need the temperature to come up anyways before we put it in the smoker. We need to get close to room temp. So we might as well hang it in the kitchen, let it dry better, and then from there, we'll drive on to what's next, which is putting it out there in the smoker, okay? So, got a hanging hook, right? Got the little things on it. This is new. I haven't used it. I haven't made bacon before. I'm trying to figure out which way I want to hang it best. I'm thinking like this, right? We're just gonna force it. Oh yeah, there we go. There, it's starting to stick through. All right. There you go. So when I'm ready to smoke, it's gonna go in the smoker just like this, okay? So let's go ahead, before we do that, let's talk about the smoke real quick. That's another place where the different people that I've seen do this differ, and that's temperatures, okay? We're gonna applewood smoke it because I love applewood smoked bacon. But one says, hey, get it up to 130, turn your smoker to 150, get it up to 130, you're good, pull it, cool it, slice it, store it, okay? The other one says you need to get an internal temperature of 150. We did use curing salt, so that's one of those things that help protect it from getting any cooties. That's a technical term, by the way, cooties. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and shoot for the 150 internal temp. So when we put it on the smoker, we'll probably put the smoker about 200 to 220, somewhere in that range. We'll put a probe, temperature probe in the meat and let her go until she hits 150 internal, okay? All right, so I'm gonna go hang this in the kitchen, and then when we come back, we'll be putting it in the smoker, cranking up the smoker, and letting it go until it's ready. All righty, time to get it in the smoker. All right, so let's take a look what we got going on. There it is hanging. We got a temperature probe in it. This thing's set to 225, and we're gonna let it smoke till it hits 150 internal. Not a lot of smoke yet, but the smoke box just getting going, so we'll check back in a bit. Oh, and don't mind the mess behind me on the patio. We got a project going on, redoing a ceiling above me, and so I had to move stuff around. We got a compressor over there, we got the saw, all that stuff. So that's what's going on the patio. That's close enough. Let's go pull that bacon. All right, she's still hot, very hot. She just came out of the smoker, as you can see. She looks beautiful. So we don't want to slice her when she's this hot. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna slide this in the refrigerator, let her cool down real good. Once she's nice and cooled, we'll pour her back out. Of course, we'll take the fork off of her, and we'll slice her up into bacon strips, and then we'll probably cook a couple. So a couple mistakes I made on this thing, and we'll go over those right now. If you guys were paying attention when I mixed the ingredients for the rub, right, to brine it, I had a bowl with red chili pepper in it, right? And When I got done doing everything and put it in the bag and put it in the fridge, I came out here to clean up and that bowl was still sitting there. I forgot to add it. So I went back, pulled it out of the fridge, opened up the bag, and I put it on both sides of the bacon. So the impact, I don't think there's gonna be any impact. I think it's fine. The bigger issue was, I assumed this thing didn't have skin on it. The skin side had been worked so that felt funny, but I thought it was just fat, but no, it appears that it did have skin on it. So it went through the curing process with the skin on. Now, like I explained earlier, it got stiff all over, so I know it's cured well. I just don't know how much of that flavor got into it from the skin side. We'll figure that out when we slice it up and cook it. And then the last thing is, based on looking at other people's videos and stuff, this is a very thin piece of pork belly. So the bacon strips, I can make them as thick as I want, right, on the slicer, but their height, usually you want 1.5 or 2 inch. It's not gonna be that tall piece of bacon like that. So I think in the future, if this turns out well and I wanna do it again, we'll probably go to a butcher shop and get a pork belly from there. So those are all things we'll see. So let's get this guy in the fridge, cool it, slice it, and cook some up. All right. All right, there you go. So a couple things you saw. This is the piece that's left. It's a little thick, but the way I'm cutting it with my fingers near there, don't want to get my fingers any closer. I think we'll chunk this up, put in beans and stuff like that. And then this was the one end of the pork belly that wasn't like even, right? And we cut it off. We're gonna use that for chunks also. What that helped us do was that pork belly, even though this is a 10-inch blade on this meat cutter, it's still the tray, right, that slides the meat on, is too short for the whole belly. So you see me bending it up and working it through. So I'm not sure if there's a way I can make some type of modification to this, but until then, I'll probably just keep doing what I did there. You could split it and slice it. There'll be shorter pieces, but it's still the same amount of bacon when you come down to it. So next for us is to package it. We're going to vacuum pack it in size packets that, the amount of bacon that we want. And then we're going to freeze it. So, but before I package it, I'm going to throw a couple of these in the fry pan to get a taste test for you. Well, it looks like bacon. Cooked up real good. The other way, Pop Pop. He wants some, so you know it's good. I'll sit here by this big slicer. Looks like bacon. Has a real good bacon flavor. The problem is it's a little salty. So, for anybody else out there who's done bacon like this at home, what could I have done better to remove more of the salt flavor? I'm assuming I didn't, when I rinsed it, when I took it out of the bag, straight from the refrigerator and rinsed it good, I should have soaked it instead of just rinse it, I think. Wait, all is not lost. Audrey told me, hey, just go research how to make your bacon not so salty. So Google to the rescue, got on there and found a process. Basically it's blanching, I guess. So we put the bacon in a pan or a bowl, whatever you got that can withstand heat, right? Then, oh wait, stop, buddy. Pull it down. Then boil some water in a big pan. Pour the water over the top of the bacon in the pan it's in, and then strain it off. Okay, all just like that. Then boil water again, and this time pour it over the bacon so that it covers the bacon, and leave it for just a couple minutes. I think I left it for like 3 minutes. Strain it off again. Then that went into the pan, went in the refrigerator, let everything cool real well. I took out one slice, threw it in the fry pan, fried it up, and presto bammo, the saltiness is gone. So we saved this one. Now I know in the future, or I believe I know what I gotta do different in the future. So we'll be doing it again. I want to get more maple flavor in it though, so I might try something different the next time. I had seen one guy where after he got it out of the smoker, before he sliced it, he did some more maple on it. So maybe that's the trick too. I don't know. But Anyways, folks, so the bacon turned out, and thanks for watching. Back to your regularly scheduled program.